Hello everyone, welcome to Pharmacy in Our Lives, a pharmacy show sponsored by Guehung Media and Pleasant Care Pharmacy, a locally owned health mart. It's my pleasure to be here today to continue our talk about Ayurvedic medicine, and staying with me today again is Dr. Mariam Arpour Dahui.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I just want to make sure that I say it right.
Yes,
exactly. So, and I didn't even look at the slides. So, but thank you again so much for for being here and talk about Ayurvedic medicine, a very great topic. I'm very intrigued by Ayurvedic medicine, and so Dr. Dahui has been practicing Ayurvedic or learning Ayurvedic for the past 3 years, but she is a practicing pharmacist for the past 19 years as well. So, I would say that, her knowledge and medication, and then now your new knowledge in Ayurvedic medicine, I'm sure makes you a better practitioner. Am I correct?
Thank you. I hope so. That's my goal.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Yes. And today, the second episode we're going to talk about is about Ayurvedic dermatology. From what I gather, it is a huge part of Ayurvedic medicine. From your first episode, you said that everything you guys do is through the skin, where you put oil, you put herbs, you put things on, ghee onto is through the skin and get it absorbed into the system.
Right.
So, so can you tell us a little bit more about, the approach of Ayurvedic dermatology and how the viewers can benefit from this?
Right. So we use skin not only as the only way of treating imbalances, but what I've noticed that in Ayurveda we use skin in majority of health conditions, and
as a way to deliver,
because it's the biggest organ, right?
Yes.
And we can use that. It's wise and very smart to use that as a way of absorption, not necessarily as in a digestive system, right?
Right, because if I just want to explain to the viewers a little bit is if you take it ingested orally, you have to go through the stomach, the breaking down, and then you have the liver, which is detoxifying and then metabolizing. So by the time that it gets into your circulatory or your blood and get it everywhere in your body, it's already like a fraction of what you put into your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So then in that sense, well, that depends on the distribution too. But with the through the skin, you don't have to go through the stomach, the metabolism of the liver.
You said it perfect. Exactly.
And so you get it straight into your bloodstream.
Perfect. Exactly. And that when I first studied it, and it's like, wow, this is beautiful.
That makes sense.
Right. Exactly as you just said it so perfect. I'm not going to add anything. So Ayurvedic dermatology is really a huge subject, and I just try to just give a little hint on the side of Ayurveda. So basically in Ayurveda we use Sanskrit words, and Ayurvedic care, the skin or healthy skin is called Twaksara. And basically, a healthy skin usually is a little bit oily and smooth, and it's lustrous, and it's with deeply rooted hair. And when we see a patient's the quality or complexion of their skin, it tells us a lot about their internal health. And
what about someone who has a lot of money and they get lasered and their skin looks, flawless?
I usually ask patients. That's one of the questions on the intake if they had any cosmetic surgery.
Right.
And for instance,
it's not a true reflection of their health.
Sometimes, patients, they come, and if they have any makeup, I ask if they're wearing makeup.
Okay.
And that's definitely tells us. And still we're able to see with the quality of their lips, are they chapped? Are there any lesion on the skin? And those all will tell us about the health of the internal organs.
Okay.
And yeah. So the skin is basically, we use that for the quality of their health. And interestingly enough, that in Ayurveda we believe your digestion has a big impact on the quality of your skin, right?
I agree.
We just talked about in a previous episode about nutrition, how a healthy nutrition for each individual based on their needs, their body's health, the quality of the imbalance, and the nature of their constitution. Each person may need a different type of nutrition. And healthy nutrition for some person may not be a healthy nutrition for someone else.
And I actually want to emphasize on the word digestion, because even if you're taking in good nutrition, but if you cannot digest it, it just comes right out.
Exactly.
So you have to have good digestive system. So therefore, that's where the probiotics and the prebiotics and, you know, keeping a good digestive tract is what's actually very important in, you know, I think in taking the right nutrition into your body. And like you say, if we don't have good digestive system, maybe the best way to get good stuff into our body is through the skin. Because the digestion, let's say someone has poor digestion.
Exactly.
How would you get it in your body? Because you're not digesting it and you're not absorbing it right.
Absorbing it.
So then the best way is through the skin. I mean, that totally makes sense to me.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important what we put on our skin.
That's true. Very true.
It's so important. I see people, you know, buy cosmetic or products, and
they don't know what's in it.
What's in it, and everything gets absorbed through bloodstream, through skin into our bloodstream, and it goes into organs. Even through our mouth, we put things. It goes somewhere.
Yes,
it doesn't necessarily. We don't evacuate everything, right? Our body breaks it down, and everything through our skin also. Our body breaks it down.
That's right.
And you had a good point. And digestion is huge. We think we are eating a healthy food, but if we're not digesting, we're not able to break the nutrients.
You can't bring it in.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why in Ayurveda we say you are, you know, there is a saying that you are what you eat, but in Ayurveda we add you are also what you absorb.
Yes.
You digest and also what you absorb. So
that is so true. Very true, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of skin conditions are combined. People, they may not have a good food combining, for instance. If I see someone just ate and they're just eating fruit right after they ate, that's like, no, please don't do that, because that's not going to get digested, because it's heavy, moist, and you just ate. And the digestive process, we just talk about pitta, is fire, is heat. We try not, even in Chinese medicine, even probably in Vietnamese or, you know, in Eastern medicine.
Vietnamese medicine, we are very similar to Chinese medicine.
Right. So you drink some tea. You don't drink a glass of ice water with your meal. There is a reason, because digestion is it's a warm digestion, and anytime we drink a glass of ice water with our food, you slow down digestion. It doesn't get digested and absorbed, and it becomes toxic. It just stay there and it gets rotten, basically. So you don't get the full nutrition, and people, they don't realize how that can affect the quality of the skin.
So you're saying that while we eat, you recommend drinking warm water?
So when I treat a patient, there are many, there are usually 15 guidelines of healthy eating that each treatment I give, and that's one of them.
Can you list the 15 guidelines?
Definitely, in a future episode, I would be more than happy to share that.
All right, we'll bring her back to tell us the 15 guidelines of healthy eating.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not only what we eat and how we eat it. It's very important.
This is going to be so cool. Yeah,
right,
I can't wait to share that.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned to the next episode.
And our food combining, right?
Yeah.
I just mentioned, like, just eating fruit, that's also another episode. so let's combining.
Yeah, let's wait for that for the nutrition aspect of Ayurveda. I think that will be a good one to talk about.
I think it's really, really important for people to know what to eat, how to eat, and that definitely treats a lot of health conditions that we currently have, a lot of symptoms.
That would be good.
So if they're eating too fast, right? Or I see people constantly snacking. You don't allow the previous meal to digest, and what happens is it just stays there, right? Or
your system's overworked.
Right, and so the previous meal is not digested, and you put another. I usually give the analogy of doing laundry to my patient. It's like if you're doing a load of laundry, would you wait until it's finished, then you put a new laundry, or do you keep putting new clothes in there? What happens?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's why it's really important to have a regular meal time, and that's affect our quality of skin, right? Or people eat a lot of uncooked food, or a lot of maybe excess sugar or excess salt.
What do you mean by uncooked foods? Because we're taught to eat a lot of salad. That's uncooked, right?
There is a moderation in everything. There is a balance. And remember when I mentioned someone who has a high pitta digestion, right? If their digestion is strong, they're able to eat, salad every day. But if someone has, for instance, they're older, as we get older, digestion gets a little bit weaker. Therefore, that person is not able to digest that as well. So it creates, then they come and say, I always have gas. And they think that gas is normal. But to me, as an Ayurvedic practitioner, that's a symptom, is a disease. Like, we're not supposed to have any digestive symptoms. So yes, everything is in moderation, and for how much for each person is different.
That's right. Okay.
Right?
So go back to your own composition of the 5 elements
Exactly.
and the 3 doshas.
Correct. Good job.
I'm catching on. Okay.
So, eating, our grandma always said, don't eat something very cold right after you had something very hot, right?
They're very wise.
That makes common sense.
Yes.
And that affects the quality of our skin. And someone, if you basically eating during summertime, you're not going to be eating all hot, food, or during the cold winter, you're not going to be eating ice cream. And I see people eating ice cream, and it's like, oh no. And there are really a lot of activities that we do. It affects the quality of our skin, or the skin conditions we have. And the most important, as you mentioned, is the digestion. So as we mentioned before, Ayurveda is the science or knowledge of life. It's the science of longevity. And it's the best system of medicine to prevent condition, when you know what is right for you and what is not right for you. And it goes back to those 3 doshas and their qualities, and the 5 elements. So if we want to look at the skin types in Ayurveda, so go back to the Vata energy and Pitta and Kapha.
Okay.
Let me test you.
You're going to test me? Okay. I'm not going to look at your slides. All right, test me.
No, so the Vata energy is responsible. Was
the
air and ether. Exactly. Good job. And the Pitta energy is made of fire and some water, and is responsible for
hot.
Is hot. It's for transformation.
Oh, transformation.
Right?
Yes. The sun.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And the Kapha energy in our body is made of the moon, and it's responsible for the structure, or the nourishing energy we have in our body.
The potential energy.
Exactly. So it's made of, we combine earth and water together. So if someone with the skin condition, so remember we talk about the 10 pairs of opposite quality versus, hot versus cold, just as an example, or sharp versus dull. For instance, a sharp pain, we say that's a quality of more Pitta or Vata type of condition. But if the pain is dull, we say that's a Kapha pain. And my treatment will be different for each type of pain, right? I'm not going to give you ibuprofen for both. So for quality of skin is also the same. So someone who is born with more Vata energy in them, their skin tends to be more dry because they're air and ether. With Pitta, it's usually moist, and with Kapha, is a little bit also is moist. And if we want to consider hot versus cold, Vata person, they usually tend to have cold hands, cold feet.
Extremities.
Right, because air and ether are cold. They think of wind, it always is cold. And Pitta, because it has fire elements in it, it's usually warm, so their skin is more inflamed and hot. And Kapha is water and earth. Water and earth, we say they're both cold, therefore Kapha is cold. So they also tend to be a little bit cooler. And Vata skin is usually rough, and they tend to be flaky, or they have scales. Pitta is usually kind of smooth, But kapha definitely, because they have more air and they have more water in them, they're more smooth. Like if someone comes and I ask them, what is your skin, does it tend to be dry or is it more smooth? And that tells me their whether they have more kapha or vata or pitta. And in vata's constitution or imbalance, the skin usually tends to be thin. As we age, we go through more vata stage of life, and therefore our skin gets thinner.
That's right.
Right? And we need more moisture. And you probably are expert on that.
Yes.
And for instance, kids, they're more kapha stage of life. For instance, even different season, we also break it down. Different time of day, we break it down to vata, pitta, or kapha time.
That's very true.
So they're usually a kapha person. You would look at them like as a person who's more masculine, and they usually have thicker skin. And color, usually with vata, is usually dark. They have more freckle. And with pitta, they're usually rosy skin. Their cheek is usually, they turn red more because they have more fire in them.
You can say, like, so are you saying people with rosacea are pitta people?
That's an imbalance. So not only, yes, so they may have that in their constitution, and they may have that in the nature of their imbalance as well. Okay. So a rosacea could be caused by a pitta imbalance. It could be caused by both vata and pitta, but it could be with three of them. So that's when we look at other signs and symptoms.
That's right.
And we find out what is the nature of their condition.
I understand.
Yeah. So there are just a few Ayurvedic skincare that it's a good idea that everyone bring it into their daily life. Okay. One of them is instilling just oil into the nose daily.
What kind of nose?
Nose. So the quality of oil, the type of oil, it depends on the dosha. For vata dosha, we recommend usually sesame oil. For someone who is usually the vata constitution people, they're usually skinny because they have air and ether. They're thinner body structure. They have narrower facial. They have small eyes. And that's when Ayurvedic practitioner would say, oh, you are mainly made of vata.
So for those vata people, you say using sesame oil.
Sesame oil, because it's warmer. Yeah, just a few drops daily, 2 drops into their nostril.
What about the pitta people?
Pitta people, they are more fire, right? So we need cooling oil such as sunflower or maybe olive oil, coconut oil.
Oh, so how does the pitta person look like? Because you just
right. So
describe the vata person.
So the pitta person, they're usually like medium built person. They're a little bit masculine. They're medium lips, maybe some angular face. They're deep seated. Their eyes are deep seated, and you can tell that people, because they have more fire, they're more goal oriented. They're more focused.
I feel like you're describing me.
I think you are. I'm looking at you and I'm telling you.
You're like saying all these things. I'm like, I think he's describing me. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And so, I can just look at someone and immediately know what is their constitution.
So for someone, a pitta, then you would recommend the sunflower.
Cooling oil, right. The cooling
coconut oil, olive oil.
Exactly.
Cooling oil. Okay,
right.
Good.
And for kapha, kapha already has a lot of water and earth in them, right? They're a more rounded person. They usually round face, bigger eyes, maybe bigger lips, and they're more masculine. They don't need as much oil, so we usually give them drying oil or warming oils such as mustard oil. Maybe put a few drops of mustard oil. They can use almond oil as well, or we don't. It's not gonna be a big deal if they go use sunflower oil in their nose, but because they already have a lot of oil in their system, we don't want to bring more oil to their skin, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And the other thing that helps to really prevent wrinkles around the face and nose area. So it's a good practice to put a few on.
Once a day?
Just once a day, yeah.
Okay, so each nostril. Lay down and just...
just a couple drops.
And these are like just regular cooking oil?
I usually use, organic oil. You can get it from, the supermarket, but they also have it in a cosmetic section. Usually they have almond oil or...
is almond oil warm or cool?
Almond oil is kind of more toward warm or neutral. So both vata and pitta can use it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But Kappa people should use more only mustard oil?
Mustard oil or a more drying or lighter. For instance, canola oil, it's lighter oil. They can use that.
Okay, good. My son at 3-month-old, he had really bad eczema. It was all over his face, his body. Sometimes at night he would wake up and cry, and we would find him covered in blood from scratching himself. I took him to his primary care physician, an allergist, even a dermatologist, even trying naturopathic doctor. And through all those, most of the Western doctors, they prescribed to him steroid cream. And being a pharmacist, I know that steroid cream long term is not good for my son, so I don't want that to be his treatment forever. I tried really hard finding a solution for my son, and I couldn't find anything that really helps him and maintain his eczema. So when I was able to open up my own compounding pharmacy where I can create creams and come up with formulas myself, then I said, well, that's the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find an alternative cream that doesn't have long-term side effects that my son can use for a long time every day. So my cream, after I use it on him, he has now improved up to 90–95%. With that in mind, I wanted to help other people that have skin disease and skin problems that just couldn't find that solution.
My acne was very, very bad. It appeared all over my face, my cheek area, my neck, all the way to my back and my shoulders.
Every person, their skin needs are going to be different. So that's why I want to sit down with a patient and find out their problems or what they're looking for and come up with a formula that are specific for their skincare needs.
Chau gives you that special care where she'll sit down and spend the time to discover what your needs are and what you want to look like and give you the product that's appropriate for your skincare.
I believe that one size does not fit all, and it shouldn't fit all. There are a lot of brands and there are a lot of products out there. So for me, I believe in simplicity and cost effectiveness.
I have to use at least 5 products per night for my regimen. This is what I got from Pleasant Skincare. There's only one product that I have used to achieve the result I wanted.
I can customize whatever you need into one bottle, and it not only decrease on the amount of products you have to buy, but it also decrease on the amount of money that you have to spend. And it will decrease on the amount of time that you have to spend on your face and your skincare regimen.
I've been using Pleasant Care pharmacy products for about a year and definitely seen the difference.
I like Mommy's cream so much.